Hey mathematics learners, welcome to Distance Learning with Lee, where I make learning mathematics super easy. So on today's video tutorial, we're going to be looking at how you work with a ratio scale or sometimes called a number scale. Okay, so we all know that when we're analyzing, your different maps, right, you get different scales that are given on your map. You can get a number scale on a map, you can get a bar scale on a map, you can get a line scale on a map. And it's very important that, okay, when you're obviously analyzing a map, you know how to work with those different scales, okay? Because if you can't work with those different scales, then you won't be able to, translate what a measured distance is on a map to an actual distance in real life, because that is basically why we're given a scale on a map. Okay, we are given a scale on a map so that we are able to then determine if they tell you that a distance from point A to point B on a map is equal to 10 centimeters. Okay, what is that distance in real life? Okay, you need to be able, because that's the whole point. We want to be able to determine what the distance is in real life. Okay, so that's basically what we're going to be doing. So in this video tutorial, I'm going to show you guys how we work with a ratio scale. Okay, so if you're given a ratio scale on a map, how would you work with that ratio scale to help you determine, the actual or real life distance on the ground, okay, or the measured distance on the map? So let's say, for example, they give you, okay, the ratio scale 1 is to 60, okay? What does this mean? You've got a map, and on your map, okay, they give you that, okay, this map uses the scale of 1 is to 60. So what does that 1 is to 60 mean? Okay, the 1 basically means that, okay, if you are given a map, so I'm just going to just do a rough sketch so that we all just get a point of what I'm doing. You're given a map, right? And on that map, right, this is just a map that shows, different towns and destinations, right? And they tell you that, okay, to move from, you want to go from point A, okay? You want to go from point A to point B, okay? So you want to go from point A to point B, okay? And then they tell you that, okay, the measured distance. So you measure on the map, literally, the distance from point A to point B to be 10 centimeters, okay? Then they tell you that the map uses the scale of 1 is to 60. And the question asks you to determine the actual distance on the ground from A to B, right? So you've got a map, okay? You've measured the distance on the map from point A to point B, okay, to be 10 centimeters, okay? But now you want to determine, okay, if I'm on the ground, okay, you now on the ground in real life, you're not on the map anymore. What would be that actual distance? Okay, how would you use this given scale to give you the actual real life distance from point A to point B? So what does this now ratio scale or number scale mean? What does that one mean? What does that 60 mean? The one basically means that if you measure 1 unit on the map, it basically means 60 units in real life. Okay, so in other words, okay, if you measure, e.g., if you measure 1 centimeter on the map, that basically means that in real life it is 60 centimeters. Or if you measure 1 millimeter on the map, it just means that in real life it is 60 millimeters. So that's basically what it means. So if you take your ruler and you measure 1 meter, okay, it means that in real life, okay, it translates to 60 centimeters. Okay, if you measure on the map 1 millimeter, I mean, okay, then that means that in real life, okay, it translates to 60 millimeters. So that is basically what the scale means, okay? But you need to remember, okay, the scale, okay, the units for the scale, what helps you determine what the units should be is whatever units that you use when you're measuring. Okay, so that's why I'm saying if you measure this, then in real life it becomes this. Okay, so whatever units that you use to measure, that is what your answer will be in. Okay, and depending on what the question will say, that's going to guide you on whether you should convert those units to kilometers or to meters and things like that. Okay, but let's see what I mean by this. So how would we calculate the actual distance on the ground from point A to point B? Okay, so now we already know that, okay, if we measure 1 unit on the map, it is equal to 60 units in real life. Okay, so we've measured, take that 10 centimeters. Okay, we want to convert that 10 centimeters into the distance in real life. So the actual distance is the distance in real life. What do we need to do? All the time, I think at this point we all need to know, you just multiply by what you want. Okay, so we want the real, so you can multiply it by 60. Okay, divided by obviously the other value, divided by 1. Okay, so if you take 10 centimeters multiplied by 60, you'll find that you get 600 centimeters, because that centimeter hasn't cancelled out with anything, meaning that, okay, the actual distance on the ground from point A to point B is equal to 600 centimeters. Okay, so in some cases they'll even say determine the actual distance on the ground from point A to B in meters. Okay, so you'll have that additional, statement there. So if now the question is asking you to find what the actual distance is in meters, you've already calculated, your distance in centimeters. All that we need to do, you just need to convert those centimeters into meters. How do you convert centimeters to meters? You just divide by 100. Okay, so if you divide by 100, okay, your answer will just be 6 meters. Right, so that's basically how we work with that number scale. So let's look at B. So let's say they tell you that, okay, the actual distance from X to Y is 20.5 meters. Calculate the measured length on the map, okay, in centimeters. So what do we have to do in this case? All right, so the question is telling us that the actual distance, okay, from X to Y, okay, actual distance in real life from there to there is just 20.5 meters. Okay, now we need to calculate the measured length on the map. So we want the length on the map. That is what we want. So what do we need to do now in this case? Okay, what do we need to do in this case? We go back to the scale that is given to us. Okay, we're going to take that value that is given to us of 20.5 meters. Okay, take that value of 20.5 meters. Okay, and then what do we do? Just multiply by what we want. We want the distance on the map, so you're going to multiply by 1, and you're going to divide by what you have. Okay, divide obviously by the other value of 60, because this 20.5 meters is what we have, and that 20.5 represents the distance in real life. Okay, then from there, if you take 20.5 and you divide it by 60, what do you get? You get 0.341. Let's just say 7. I've just rounded it off to 4 decimal places. The meters hasn't cancelled with anything. It's just going to be meters. Okay, but remember, they want you to calculate the measured length on the map. Okay, in centimeters. So what's left for us to do now? We just need to convert those meters to centimeters. How do you convert from meters to centimeters? Just multiply by 100. So if you multiply this value by 100, you'll get that your answer is just going to be equal to 34.17 centimeters. Okay, I'm gonna write it here, 34.17 centimeters. All right. Okay, so you're also more than welcome to use the cross multiplication method. Okay, when you want to obviously convert from measured to real or from real to measured. You just need to remember that under the value, okay, if you given the actual distance, right, okay, then you need to put that value under here. If you're given the measured distance, then you need to write that value under the map. Okay, and then from there you just cross multiply to get your answer. But remember, I just like using this method because it just gets us straight to our answer quicker. All right, so that is how we work with our number scale. I've also done a nice, more detailed video tutorial where I look at, how you work with your number scale, ratio scale. Please also watch this video tutorial for more insight. Okay, but I think that we're more than ready to have a look at, this quick activity that we're just going to be looking at together to just give us a better understanding on how, we can apply our knowledge of number scales. Okay, so let's just quickly look at this activity together, and okay, so let's get started. So hopefully everyone can see that. Okay, please just make sure that you just take a screenshot. Try these questions on your own. Try to see if you'll be able to answer them on your own. Okay, let's have a look at the first question, right? So the first question says to us, right, using a scale of 1:200, calculate. Okay, let's look at question 4.1.1. So question 4.1.1 asks us to calculate the real life measurement if the measurement on the map was 8.2 centimeters. Okay, so we're given the scale of 1:200. All right, so 1:200. Remember, the 1 represents the distance on the map and the 200 represents the distance in real life. Okay, we are told that, okay, the distance on the map is equal to 8.2 centimeters. That is the distance on the map. What are we trying to determine? We are trying to determine what is the real life measurement. Okay, so we can also just write it like this. I think maybe this will also help. Okay, you can just write this. We've got the measured distance on the map, or the measurement on the map. Okay, and they want what's the real life measurement. That is what we want, hence the question mark. Right, so how do we now use the scale to help us determine the real life measurement? And they say, right, remember I said that they'll always tell you what you need to leave your answer in. So they're saying in centimeters. So we want the real life measurement in centimeters. So what do we need to do here? In this case, we're just going to take, okay, we're just going to take that 8.2 centimeters multiplied by, what is it that we want? We want the real life measurement. So we're going to multiply by 200 divided by what we have. Obviously, we're going to divide by that other value, which is 1. So therefore, if you just take 8.2, you multiply it by 200, you'll find that, okay, your real life measurement, okay, it's just 1,640 centimeters. Okay, 1,640 centimeters. So remember, we just need to leave our answer in centimeters. Okay, so that basically means that if you just measure 8.2 centimeters on the map, on the paper, in real life, okay, that value or that measurement, okay, means, or it equates to 1,640 centimeters. Okay, let's have a look at question 1.4.2. It says that the real life measurement, okay, so we want to calculate the real life measurement. We want the real life measurement if the measurement on the map was 15 centimeters. So here again, right, we are given the measurement on the map. Okay, then we are told that we need to determine the real life measurement. Okay, so just put a question mark. Okay, what do we need to do again? We're going to work with our scale. It's still the same scale that's given to us here. Okay, we're going to take your 15 centimeters. Okay, that's what we're given. We're going to multiply by what we want. What is it that we want? We want the real. So we're going to multiply it by the real. That's what we want. Divided by, obviously, what we have, or the other value. Okay, so if you take your 15 multiplied by 200, what do you get? You actually get 3,000. The centimeters hasn't cancelled, so it's just centimeters. Okay, so the real life measurement, okay, if the measurement on the map is 15 centimeters, is 3,000 centimeters. Okay, and they asked us now to give our answer in meters. So now we obviously need to take it a step further. We cannot leave it as centimeters because our answer is asking us to convert it to meters. So how do we move from, centimeters to meters? Okay, remember, that diagram, the diagrams that I draw for you. Okay, at this point, right, you just need to know these diagrams off by heart, because I'm sure you can see now that I'm actually, not drawing them as much as I used to, because I feel like I'm drawing them a lot in all the video tutorials. So please have a note, or like your own formula sheet where you've got all these diagrams, okay, to remind you on how we need to convert. Okay, so if you're moving from centimeters to meters, just remember we're going to divide by 100. That's all that we need to do. So in this case, we want to take that 3,000 centimeters. We want to move from centimeters to meters. We're just going to divide by 100. So when you divide by 100, basically means that, okay, the real life measurement in meters is 1, 2, it's 30 meters. Okay, so that is the real life measurement. Okay, let's have a look at question 4.1.3. It says, what is the measurement on the map? So now we want the measurement on the map. Okay, we want to calculate the measurement on the map. If they tell us that the real life measurement is 1,400 centimeters. Okay, so this is question 4.1.3. So what is the measurement on the map? So write down there, measurement on the map. That is what we want. Okay, question mark. That is what we want. Okay, then we are given the real life measurement. Okay, it's equal to, they gave us that the real life measurement is 1,400 centimeters. Okay, so what is the measurement on the map? I also think that, when you're also like, doing your solutions, I think it helps when you just write down the information that you're given. So, write down the data. Okay, that's given. What's given to you? What's not given? If something is not given, write it as, put a question mark there. Okay, I think doing that is gonna help us, focus our mind on what we need to do. Okay, so we're still working with the same, scale, right? The 1:200. So we're just gonna take the number or the value that's given to us, that 1,400 centimeters, okay, multiplied by, what do we want in this case, right? What do we want? We want the measurement on the map. Okay, so in this case, we want to multiply by 1, because that is what we want, divided by, what do we have? Okay, obviously the other value. So we're going to divide by 200. Okay, so if you take 1,400, then you divide by 200, what do you get? You actually get 7 centimeters. So that is, okay, if your distance in real life is 1,400 centimeters, that means that the distance on the map is just equal to, 7 centimeters. Okay, and then they also did mention that we must just leave our answer in centimeters. Right, cool stuff. Now let's have a look at the next question. Question 4.2. It says, a topographical map uses a scale of 1:50,000. Okay, so what is a topographical map, ladies and gentlemen? So a topographical map, right, is a map that has a detailed and accurate illustration of man-made and natural features on the ground, such as the railways, the power transmission lines, the contours, the elevations, the rivers, the lakes, and the geographical, names. Okay, so that is what a topographical map is, right? And we're told that this topographical map uses a scale of 1:50,000. Okay, so in the first question, it asks us to explain what a scale of 1:50,000 mean. So what does a scale of 1:50,000 mean, ladies and gentlemen, right? So a scale of 1:50,000 basically means that 1 unit on the map represents 50,000 units in real life. 1 unit on the map represents 50,000 units in real life. So that is basically what that scale means. Question 4.2 says, convert 4 kilometers into centimeters. So question 4.2.2, how do we convert? Okay, we have to convert 4 kilometers into centimeters. Okay, so how do you convert from kilometers to centimeters? Remember, we mentioned that if you're moving from a bigger unit of measurement to a smaller unit of measurement, You just need to multiply by, start by 1,000, then multiply by 100. When you go from meters to centimeters, you multiply by 100. Okay, century, centi. Okay, then you multiply by 10 when you go from centimeters to millimeters. So if you want to convert kilometers, right, to centimeters, so we are here, we want to go here. What do you need to do? To multiply by 1,000, and you need to multiply by 100. So it's the same as just multiplying by 100,000. So you're gonna multiply by 1,000, okay, multiply by 100. So that's the same as just saying 4 kilometers multiplied by how many zeros do we have? It's 100,000. So it's just 100,000. Okay, so therefore, what is our answer there? It's just 400,000 centimeters. Okay, so we've basically now converted the 4 kilometers into centimeters. It's 400,000 centimeters. Let's have a look at question 4.2.3. It says that use the scale to work out what the distance in question 4.2 will be on a topographical map. Okay, so now in this question, right, they're asking us to now use the the answer that we've obtained here. Remember, we got that answer of 400,000 centimeters, right? Okay, so now they're asking, what will be this distance? What will be the distance in question 4.2 be on a map? Okay, right? Obviously, if they're telling us that this is 4 kilometers, so obviously if they say this is 4 kilometers, this is the distance on the ground. Okay, so this 400,000, this is question 4.2.3, this 400,000 is just the distance in real life. Okay, is that 400,000 centimeters? That's the distance in real life. What are we asked to calculate? We are trying to determine what is the measured length on the map. That is what we're trying to determine. Okay, what is the scale that we're going to be using in this case? We're going to be using that scale of 1:50,000. Okay, so we're just going to take that scale 1:50,000. Okay, what does the scale mean? Okay, 1 unit on the map is equal to 50,000 units in real life. Always like doing this for myself. Then I'm just going to take that 400,000 centimeters. What are we trying to determine? What is the measured length on the map? So we're just going to multiply by what we want. We want the measured length on the map. So we're going to multiply by what we want. We're going to divide it by, obviously, you're going to divide by the other value or what we have, which is 50,000. Therefore, your final answer will be that 400, 1, 2, 3, multiplied by 1 over 50, 1, 2, 3. Therefore, your answer is just 8 centimeters. So 4 kilometers in real life, okay, if you've measured or you've traveled a distance of 4 kilometers in real life, then on this topographical map, okay, that measured length is just equal to 8 centimeters. All right, so I'm just gonna stop it here for today's video tutorial, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it. Okay, we are just revising. I'm helping you guys prepare for your final exam by looking at important points, important concepts that you need to understand for your exam. Okay, so that once we get into that past paper, we all know how to approach the questions. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial where we basically looked at how we can or are supposed to work with a number scale or a ratio scale to determine real life distance, if they've given you measured distance on the map, okay, or how we can work with a number scale to determine a measured distance on the map, okay, if they've given you the real life distance in or on the ground. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial. In the next video tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how we work with a bar scale. What must you do if you're given a bar scale on a map? Okay, how do you work with that bar scale to determine real life distance or measured distance? I'm also going to be showing you guys how we can convert a bar scale into a ratio scale. So you do not want to miss that video tutorial. So I'll see you guys on my next upload.
That is it, guys, and I'll see you guys on my next upload, Distance Learning with Lee, where I make learning mathematics super easy. Bye, guys.